That little bit of humming is gonna be nightmare fuel for everyone involved, except Zegler, of course, for the rest of their lives. So the trailer for Disney's upcoming disaster Snow White dropped a few days ago. Maybe it was a few weeks, but who gives a shit, right? And I don't think I'm exaggerating it when I say that it was probably the most awaited trailer drop in recent memory. And why wouldn't it be? It's a golden chance for all YouTubers, including yours truly, to take a much deserved and satisfying dump on this shit show. And after watching it over and over and over again, barely holding on to my sanity, might I add, to try and be as objective as I can be about it, I reached the conclusion that Disney has somehow made it even worse. Yup, they've actually achieved the impossible and turned good old yellow shit into full-blown diarrhea. But before we talk about the many reasons why the trailer looks worse, let's talk about the woman who made it all possible. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Rachel Zegler.
Is he shitting me?
It's very evident at this point that this girl couldn't keep her mouth shut if her life depended on it. And I'm still perplexed as to how Disney, or maybe even Bob Iger or the director Mark Webb, isn't personally babysitting Zegler until the release of this movie, because it's clear that she won't be satisfied with just sinking the ship called Snow White. Oh no. She's out to create something unforgettable, and it looks like she won't stop until she turns Snow White into the biggest box office bomb in cinematic history.
Rachel!
If that's the plan, Rachel, good going, girl. It's no secret, everyone has already said it. Snow White's target audience isn't your many-lettered crowd who are fighting a war for exclusive inclusivity because those motherfuckers would have a problem with maybe every single aspect of this film. Namely, why is the queen a woman and not a trans thingy? Why is the prince not black? Why is Snow White straight? Why are the dwarves not having a little orgy? And the list goes on and on, I'm sure. So the sane-headed crowd is the only one that remains, which means families and especially kids. The same crowd that Zegler has done everything in her power to alienate. It's really funny to me that 23-year-old entitled rich brats that live in their little LA bubble think that they have any life experiences to tell other people who to vote for and take the moral high ground when it comes to sensitive things like patriotism and virtue. After another cycle of saying frankly embarrassing things about the target audiences and being a total hypocrite by wishing for Trump supporters to outright die and burn in hell immediately after trying to be noble and calling for peace and unity, it became ever so evident that this shit is being done on purpose. I'm pretty sure at this point that a rival studio is paying her the last bit of money that she'll ever have coming her way from Hollywood in an effort to annihilate Disney, which is already on its last legs. Snow White has always been the movie which really kicked it off for Disney. It's been said a million times. An IP that is more or less a guaranteed hit anytime they chose to remake it into live action. But it seems like the singular choice of casting a loudmouthed, snobby activist as Snow White has superseded every other problem which could have potentially been ignored or fixed. And yes, even the 7 non-dwarf dwarves and probably the most beautiful woman in the world being cast as the jealous evil queen across an unlikable bum like Zegler. And no, Zegler wasn't fired by Disney, although it would have been a great PR move. So that's just false news. But enough about Snow White. Let's get to the trailer itself. It's not easy and it must have taken a remarkable amount of effort to turn a $209 million disaster to a $270 million mega disaster. And the reason? They've reshot a big chunk of the movie since the dwarves weren't dwarves before. But for some insanely stupid reason, Disney, instead of going with the logical and budget-friendly option of casting dwarves, has taken the CGI route. What the fuck is even happening in that place? Because now a majority of this quote-unquote live action film is CGI. What exactly is live action about this shite? And seriously, what was wrong with just casting actual dwarf actors? As I said before, exclusive inclusivity. Oh, the dwarf actors are gonna have a ball when Disney has its monumental fall. And Gal Gadot, oh my god, who's the fairest of them all, you ask? Well, for starters, Gal is actually a great deal fairer than Zegler, and when it comes to beauty, some might say all women are beautiful, which can be agreed upon to some degree, but let's be honest, there's no comparison between Zegler and Godot. It's pretty darn disingenuous for Disney to assume we as audiences will disregard our own eyesight and senses and concur with their vision that this ethereal beauty is jealous of a hideous looking little girl. How? I mean, just what were they thinking? I'm sorry, but I'll have to go back to Zegler because honestly, she's quite literally 90% of the reason why Snow White is gonna tank at the box office. So speaking about the protagonist, her acting here has left much to be desired. I don't know if it's because it's Zegler or it in fact is her acting, but the way she's delivered her lines just seems so artificial and obnoxious. Just take a look at these snippets.
Is evil. You must flee into the woods.
Human.
What did you think I was? I'm gonna need your help. This is our people need some kindness.
Flaring your nostrils and giving over-the-top expressions, it's not really acting, is it, Zegler?
And are those arms CGI too? Is it me or is there something seriously wrong here? Oh, well, something fundamentally wrong seems to be the theme of the entire movie, I guess. Because Snow White is supposed to be noble, humble, and loving, along with being the most breathtakingly beautiful young girl in the entire kingdom. All the qualities Zegler does not possess. It's almost like casting Hulk Hogan to play Nelson Mandela. And to add fuel to fire, Zegler has now picked a fight of sorts with former Daily Wire associate Brett Cooper, who was supposed to star in a version of Snow White which wasn't supposed to be woke at all. Talk about perfect place, perfect time, and Zegler, being the brat that she is, had to say something about it, didn't she? Why does she still have access to her social media? But Cooper's exit from the company has put the future of Daily Wire Snow White in doubt, but if they manage to release it with Disney's dystopian one, even if it's not in theaters and just on their own streaming platform, there is some serious money to be made. As far as Zegler's Snow White is concerned, there is one route they could take which will be unfathomable for most. But honestly, it looks like it's the only way they could salvage this disaster and turn the tides for them. You see, Zegler has already established herself as the heel persona. Better than they could have ever hoped for her to do, even with a large PR team behind her. So now, just for argument's sake, let's say they turn the whole story around and Snow White is the evil bitch. Think about it. She's the one who poisoned her father, who bought a greed-inducing magic mirror to turn her stepmother into something she's not. And then she uses the dwarves to her own advantage, all in an attempt to induce panic among the subjects of the kingdom and try and stage a coup to overthrow the deserving queen and take the kingdom for herself. But in the end, all is revealed and she's imprisoned far, far away for the rest of her life. Sounds absolutely great, doesn't it? There you go, Disney. I have fixed the problem for you by giving you a way to not just save millions, but add tens, if not hundreds, to your profit index. Something that you guys clearly need. Because I, along with what seems like more than half of America, will pay folding money to watch Zegler get hers, even if it's only in a movie. But that's a far-fetched dream, isn't it? Doing that is a move that's too damn risky, and I don't think Disney will ever muster up the balls to do the needful.
That's it for today. I'm gonna go eat some pizza now.